The prodigal master has a unique way of teaching his apprentice. Faced with his apprentice's frugality, he is determined to teach the essence of being a spendthrift to his apprentice. At this moment, Yifeng has doubts about the recent reward. Why does the name sound like something highly poisonous? Is 10,000 Flower Valley a faction that studies poison? Do you guys recognize this? Saying this, Yifeng takes out a ghost bewitching grass from the system space. When Huayuman and Luo Yaoyao see the poisonous spiritual herb appearing in Yifeng's hand, they both exclaim in surprise. They had seen this item in their secret texts. They didn't expect to see it here. With ghost bewitching grass, their bodies of myriad poisons will level up. Huayuman, today you become my first disciple, which means you will be the future senior sister. You should know our sect rules. Saying this, Yifeng takes out all the remaining 99 ghost bewitching grass. Huayuman is stunned. How do you have so much ghost bewitching grass? You should know that in 10,000 Flower Valley, apart from the third valley master from tens of thousands of years ago, no one has seen it. Elder Yi, have you been to other sects as well? Luo Yaoyao asks, looking utterly confused. Yifeng says, consider it my personal rules, but I don't plan to establish a sect. In the future, my prodigal sect's disciples will be spread across the entire mystical heaven continent and even across thousands of lower realms. Just then, the system appears. Due to Yifeng successfully creating prodigal sect, he receives 100,000 prodigal points, activating sect-wide telepathic communication and teleportation features. I've worked hard to save just over 10,000 and didn't expect that creating a sect would grant me 100,000 points. The system begins to explain the telepathic communication feature. Any disciple of the host can communicate telepathically with the host, no matter their location. The host can also issue commands to the disciples. As for the teleportation feature, the host can directly teleport to the disciple's side. Each disciple can be teleported to once a day, with a maintenance time of 1 hour. Afterward, they will automatically be teleported back to the original location. Suddenly, Yifeng thinks of a key point. If the disciples I take on are from other realms, does that mean I can go to other realms as well? Upon hearing Yifeng's words, Huayuman shows an extremely awkward expression. She doesn't even dare to mention the name of this second sect. Prodigal sect? Saying that name out loud would be a joke. Yet, Yifeng looks at Huayuman very seriously. Huayuman, as the senior sister of the sect, you must fully understand the sect's rules. I ask you, what do you plan to do with this ghost bewitching grass after I give it to you? Huayuman looks confused. Is this even a question? Apart from what Luo Yaoyao and I need for cultivation, the remaining ghost bewitching grass will definitely not be used in 10,000 Flower Valley without Master's permission. I will certainly keep them safe for Master. However, upon hearing this, Yifeng shouts out in frustration, calling her foolish. What do you mean keep them safe? We are the prodigal sect. How do you not even understand the essence of the name? These things are meant to be used. What's the point of hiding them? At this moment, Yifeng is utterly exasperated and blurting out a big what the hell. At this point, Huayuman feels utterly despondent. She is the valley master of 10,000 Flower Valley, and yet she's being scolded by this young guy. Yifeng then approaches with the ghost bewitching grass, asking if she's afraid of its poison. Huayuman says that she and Yao Yao are cultivating bodies that can handle all kinds of poison, so the toxicity of the ghost bewitching grass is actually beneficial for them. However, Yao Yao is young and can't absorb too much at once. Yet, Yifeng isn't asking them to absorb it, but suggests they use it to soak their feet before going to sleep. If they're tired and weary, shouldn't they use a few to take a bath? If cultivation feels dull and frustrating, shouldn't they tear up a few to vent their emotions? It looks like you're not qualified to be a senior sister yet. I'll have to put in extra effort to teach you. Huayuman asks in confusion. If we do as you say, Master, 100 ghost bewitching grass wouldn't last for more than a few days. Yet again, she is reprimanded by Yifeng. If you run out, then you'll just use something else. What's the point of these useless trinkets? Both the master and disciple are stunned by the rare items. You call these useless trinkets? Yao Yao incredulously asks Huayuman. She remembers only reading about these items, which are all rare poisonous spiritual herbs and poisonous spiritual water. Huayuman is also dumbfounded. The books say they exist in the heavenly Dao battlefield. Even 10,000 Flower Valley doesn't have any in stock. At this moment, Yifeng proudly declares, these are for you to squander as you see fit. If there are good things next time, I'll continue to give them to you to squander. Also, the 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals I gave you before, make sure you spend them. Increase the treatment for the disciples of 10,000 Flower Valley by tenfold, by whatever resources you lack, and remember not to haggle. We, the prodigal sect, can't afford to lose face, but squandering doesn't mean being a fool. Do you understand? Huayuman is encountering this kind of situation for the first time, and she's been confused throughout the whole process. Yifeng truly has an expression that says, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. He then grants her the sect's transmission and teleportation abilities. After that, Yifeng communicates with her through his divine consciousness. This shocks Huayuman even more, as she thinks of the transmission ability as a divine technique. At this point, Huayuman starts to get it. I have to squander money. Go all out and squander money. Find all ways to squander money. Damn it, I can't hold back anymore. Seeing this, Yifeng's eyes light up. Yes, that's the spirit. Finally, you get it. Huayuman seriously tells Yifeng, Master, rest assured. assured, I will definitely uphold the sect's principles and carry forward the spirit of extravagance. Actually, it's not that Hua-Yuman has just come to understand, but rather she has always wanted to live lavishly. She was just constrained by her lack of strength before. Luo Yaoyao is left speechless by these two. How did the once penny-pinching miser suddenly become so agreeable? Have they both gone crazy? What should I do? Should I go along with them? At this moment, Yifeng is extremely excited. He seems to see an extravagant future without limit. In the future, extravagance needs not be many, but should be refined. And as for Li Fei, he can only wait for destiny to bring them together again, and then he will recruit him into the prodigal sect. Yifeng then grins mischievously at Luo Yaoyao. The meaning is quite clear. Now, my status is higher than yours. Luo Yaoyao absolutely refuses. She won't call Yifeng her grandmaster. To win over Luo Yaoyao, Yifeng directly takes out 100 million high-quality spiritual stones for her, letting her squander them as she wishes. If she uses them up, he will give her 10 drops of great demon fairy blood. Hua-Yuman also tells her to accept it. So, Luo Yaoyao reluctantly accepts the spiritual stones, stubbornly declaring that it doesn't mean Yifeng has won. Yifeng smiles knowingly. Little junior sister-in-law is really easy to handle. At this point, Hua-Yuman says they have to leave the battlefield, as the secret treasure can only suppress their cultivation for 10 days. And today is the last day. Blushing, Yaoyao tells Yifeng to wait for her at the Star Extreme sect, as she will go to find him soon. Seeing this, Yifeng says goodbye to them. However, at this point, Yifeng also prepares to leave. There's nothing left for him to do here. He realizes that his status is becoming increasingly chaotic. His little junior sister-in-law sometimes calls him big brother, sometimes elder, or sometimes nephew. What should his master call him in the future? Before leaving, Yaoyao makes a face at Yifeng. Yifeng can only awkwardly take it. Now with 100,000 prodigal points, Yifeng decides to return and first raise his strength to the merging spirit realm. Soon, Yifeng returns to the outside world, but he doesn't know where he has emerged. Meanwhile, 3,000 kilometers away is the location of the Star Soul sect. Inside the main hall of the Star Soul sect, Luo Qianxue is incredibly surprised. Uncle Luo, why have you come? Luo Kai immediately plays the family card. Qianxue, when you were young and needed anything, didn't I get it for you? I've been good to you, haven't I? Luo Qianxue nods in agreement. Luo Kai then awkwardly says, look, your uncle is old now and doesn't want to wander alone anymore. Could you arrange for me to become an elder in your sect? Luo Qianxue internally rolls her eyes. Who is the one saying they love the freedom of a solitary life? Old Xia also steps up. If you're looking for a home, why come to the sect master? Her newly established sect already has more elders than disciples. Luo Qianxue helplessly says, Uncle Luo, you're a fourth-layer tribulation crossing realm expert. Coming to my sect might be beneath you. Luo Kai thick-skinnedly responds, I don't mind. Just then, a great demonic aura arrives. Everyone's face turns serious, thinking a demon is causing trouble. However, they find out that it's a group of familiar people. Luo Qianxue looks at them speechlessly. Why have you all come here? And who is that terrifying demon? It turns out to be several core disciples from the Star Extreme sect. They say they've come under orders and will be staying at the Star Soul sect from now on. Luo Qianxue is somewhat bewildered. Why have you all also come to the Star Soul sect? Faced with the arrival of the core disciples, Luo Qianxue decisively rejects them. You all are the future of the Star Extreme sect. It's too risky for you to stay here. If something happens to the core disciples, what will the Star Extreme sect do? You should hurry back to the Star Extreme sect. However, upon saying this, the room falls silent. Chen Haoyu states, it's not up to us. The sect master has told us, wherever the junior brother is, we will be too. Luo Qianxue pauses. Who is this junior brother? I wasn't aware of a new member joining. It's Yifeng. They reply, Saintus, you might not know, but the junior brother fought alone against 200 disciples of the same realm and Star Extreme sect. The 5 ancestral elders have named him the sect's 6th core disciple. The mantis woman steps forward, assuring Luo Qianxue that no one would dare cause trouble with her around. Confused, Luo Qianxue asks, and who are you? Though she doesn't know why the woman blushes, Chen Haoyu explains, she is the bloodthirsty mantis, an entity that has already crossed 2 heavenly Tao thunder tribulations. She's at the peak of the 9th layer in the tribulation crossing realm. Junior brother Yifeng caught her casually on the way here. With her around, we can ensure our safety. Upon hearing this, Luo Qianxue can already imagine the situation. She then turns to Luo Kai. Uncle Luo, you didn't also come because of my prodigal disciple, did you? Luo Kai stammers, unsure of how to respond. Seeing his reaction, Luo Qianxue understands. What on earth has my good disciple been up to? First, old Xia from the Tianyu auction house arrived. Then Uncle Luo shows up, and now he's even managed to bring along the 5 prodigies from the Star Extreme sect. He even tamed a peak 9th layer tribulation crossing realm demon. What else is he planning to bring? Just then, Chen Haoyu discreetly pulls Luo Qianxue aside, informing her that she can't blame the junior brother. Although he is your personally taught chief disciple, he has now been given the title of honorary elder by the ancestors. Even if your father sees him, he'll have to address him as Elder Yi. Luo Qianxue is shocked. When did the Star Extreme sect create this position, and how did Yifeng get it? Chen Haoyu asks her to keep her voice down. The sect master said that it's Elder Yi who bought the position, but we don't know how much he paid, and the sect master insisted on keeping it confidential. Luo Chinchua feels numb, wondering how prodigal her disciple could be. Just then, her jade pendant for mental communication rings. She knows it's her sister calling. Why do you have time to chat with your sister? A voice comes through the pendant. Sister, what do you call the master of my master? Grandmaster, right? Luo Chinchua's puzzled voice reaches Yao Yao. You haven't contacted me for months, and you're asking me this? If he's your grandmaster, he's naturally mine too. Luo Yao Yao grins. Well, sorry then, sister. Your chief disciple is now my grandmaster. I'm giving you a heads up in advance. He probably hasn't returned yet, so don't blame him. Luo Yao Yao seems quite pleased with herself, and upon hearing this, Luo Chinchua breaks her jade pendant in frustration. But Yao Yao's voice continues. By the way, my master, Huayuman, has also become his disciple. He's established his own prodigal sect and took my master as his chief disciple. I'll be visiting with my master to see Grandmaster soon. Please prepare some delicious food for me. Upon hearing these last words, Luo Chinchua can no longer hold back, and a powerful aura bursts forth. She completely fails to understand how the valley master of the prestigious 10,000 Flower Valley could become the disciple of someone still in the chi activation realm. My good disciple, what on earth have you done? At this point, Luo Chinchua has no choice but to accept the situation, allowing Luo Kai and several core disciples to stay. However, she makes it clear that she won't provide any resources or assistance. Seeing the infuriated Saintess, Chen Haoyu quickly assures her that they don't need any resources, just to remain alive. Upon hearing this, Luo Chinchua instructs Old Xia to arrange for them. After everyone disperses, Old Bai inquires about what exactly is going on. With a resigned expression, Luo Chinchua replies, I don't know, the whole sect is in chaos. Let's wait until Yifeng returns. Old Bai decides it's best to help his young mistress calm down, thinking, after all this help, Yifeng, you'd better give me a 9-leaf soul returning herb. Meanwhile, in a small town, Yifeng walks along, shivering inexplicably. What's strange about this? Why is it so cold in broad daylight? He has inquired about the distance. It's more than 300 kilometers to Star Extreme Sect. If only I knew how to fly on a sword. It'll take more than 20 days just to reach Star Extreme Sect, let alone Star Soul Sect. I need to find a solution. Just then, he notices a fortune teller, an old man claiming to be the best seer under heaven. Most people, even Yifeng, assume the man is a scam artist. What they don't know is that the old man's actual identity is Elder Zhou Tong of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Though skeptical, Yifeng decides to have his fortune read to pass the time. Zhou Tong agrees, but insists that Yifeng treat him to a meal first. They go to an inn where Yifeng treats the old man to a hearty meal. After eating for half an hour, Zhou Tong is fully satisfied and ready to tell Yifeng's fortune, requesting a drop of fresh blood from him. Upon hearing this, Yifeng becomes even more convinced that the man is a charlatan, but he complies and gives him a drop of fresh blood. Zhou Tong takes it and begins his divination. A mysterious aura envelopes him, and after a moment, an alert appears on Yifeng's system. Special force trying to access host's fate. Antivirus function activated. Suddenly, a bolt of heavenly thunder strikes Zhou Tong, numbing him. Yifeng is utterly astonished. This guy isn't a fraud after all. He even triggered the system's antivirus function. Impressive. Zhou Tong, now with a bald head due to the shock, looks at Yifeng in terror, not knowing what to say. Yifeng also feels extremely awkward, having accidentally scorched the man's hair off. I apologize, senior. It's due to some special circumstances of mine that your soul was severely damaged. Zhou Tong reflects on what just happened, puzzled by the overwhelming force that nearly destroyed his soul. He only intended to use the Heavenly Mystery's secret art to see Yifeng's fortunes and misfortunes for the coming month. Yifeng also feels uneasy. He can't disclose the system, so he just attributes it to his special circumstances. Stay away. Let me recover first, says Zhou Tong. Seeing this, Yifeng pulls out a 9-leaf soul returning herb. Senior, I happen to have this spiritual herb, which should help you recover. Upon seeing the 9-leaf soul returning herb, Zhou Tong is deeply shocked, but declines Yifeng's offer. This is too precious for me. Better to sell it to a 9th-grade alchemist. He then earnestly warns Yifeng, if you don't have the power to protect yourself, carrying this precious spiritual herb could attract fatal trouble. Yifeng hadn't expected this. Not only does this old charlatan have skills, but he's also a pretty decent person. Since that's the case, I'll give him one as a token of my gratitude. Yifeng then hands over the 9-leaf soul returning herb to Zhou Tong, assuring him that he knows the value of the spiritual herb and that he should just use it without worry. Otherwise, I'll just use it to soak my feet. At this point, Zhou Tong accepts the herb and chomps it down in front of Yifeng, much like an old cow grazing. Just then, Yifeng's system rewards him. Due to the host uncovering 2 hidden features, you are specially awarded 10,000 prodigal points, 100 9-leaf soul returning herbs, and 100 Heavenly Mysteries secret art enlightenment pills. Yifeng is astonished. These rewards for uncovering hidden features are quite generous. I wonder what other functionalities will yield. And this Heavenly Mysteries secret art enlightenment pill sounds extraordinary. Definitely not the same as the generic enlightenment pills I've encountered before. An hour passes before Zhou Tong finishes gnawing down the soul returning herb, and by now, he's recovered recovered about 90% of his health. If those old guys knew that I ate such a legendary spiritual herb raw, they'd probably beat me to death, he muses. Hearing about the 90% recovery, Yifeng wonders if one soul-returning herb wasn't enough. He then lays out 5 more soul-returning herbs for Zhou Tong. Senior, if your soul isn't fully healed yet, please continue eating. Don't be polite. If you don't eat them, I'll just use them to soak my feet. Zhou Tong is again shocked by this. You'd actually use such precious items to soak your feet? That's absolutely insane. However, a moment later, the two of them embark on a foot-soaking journey. Yifeng opines, in one's life, if there's enjoyment to be had, one should fully indulge. Zhou Tong completely agrees with Yifeng's philosophy at this point. You're absolutely right. This is how life should be lived. However, he still feels a bit guilty inside. Eating the soul-returning herb is one thing, but using it to soak our feet is almost sinful. My smelly feet don't deserve this. Yifeng then asks about Zhou Tong's identity. Are you really an elder of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion? Why would someone like you almost starve on the streets? Zhou Tong confirms, yes, I am. I came to Maple Leaf City on a secret mission. You know how it is. Seeing that Zhou Tong doesn't want to elaborate, Yifeng turns to his system to check if he can uncover Zhou Tong's secret mission. Activating a new feature called Peering into the Heavenly Secrets, he realizes that the criteria for activation are met because Zhou Tong had just tried to peer into his destiny. Yifeng is overjoyed. I didn't expect to unlock another feature just like that. Old Zhou, you're my lucky star. To show his appreciation for Zhou Tong's inadvertent help, Yifeng hands him 5 Heavenly Mysteries Secret Art Enlightenment pills. Zhou Tong looks stunned. You gifted me 9-leaf soul-returning herbs to heal, and even invited me to soak my feet. Shouldn't I be the one thanking you? Yifeng grins. Well, I can't exactly say you helped me unlock system features, can I? Suddenly, Zhou Tong appears shocked as if he's just realized something. What did you call that pill just now? Yifeng explains that the pill is called Heavenly Mysteries Secret Art Enlightenment Pill, but laments, unfortunately, it can only facilitate insights into the Heavenly Mysteries Secret Art. This frustrates Zhou Tong. You call that unfortunate? Do you have any idea how profound and difficult to comprehend the Heavenly Mysteries Secret Art is? You won't even find one practitioner in tens of billions of people. Seeing Zhou Tong's reaction, Yifeng offers him one of the pills. Old Zhou, would you like to try one? Zhou Tong replies that if he says he doesn't want to, it would definitely be a lie. He then takes the pill and swallows it. Observing this, Yifeng grins and activates his Peering into the Heavenly Secrets feature to inquire about old Zhou's secret mission. A second later, the system reveals that Zhou Tong was assigned by the Pavilion Master of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion to find the future Heavenly Secrets Pavilion Saintess. Yifeng is quite surprised. This is indeed a hefty mission. Should I help old Zhou? As soon as he thinks this, the system releases a new mission, instructing him to recruit the Saintess into the Prodigal Sect as a disciple before Zhou Tong can. Yifeng didn't expect the system to have a knack for stealing people away. Sorry, old Zhou, he mutters, as he asks the system to locate the whereabouts of the Saintess. 20 minutes later, a fully enlightened Zhou Tong wakes up and looks at Yifeng expectantly. Young friend, how many more of these pills do you have? I can represent the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion and purchase all of them. However, Yifeng declines. Although I still have some, I can't sell them to you. Puzzled, Zhou Tong asks, why not? Yifeng quietly responds, I'm saving them for Yi Lingxue. Hearing this, Zhou Tong is shocked. How do you know the name of the Saintess? Yifeng proposes, let Yi Lingxue become a disciple to both of us. The Heavenly Secrets Pavilion can handle her training, and I'll provide the resources. Zhou Tong immediately dismisses the idea. It's not possible. A Heavenly Secrets Pavilion Saintess cannot join other factions. Realizing that Yifeng has intentions of recruiting her, Zhou Tong secretly decides to find the Saintess before Yifeng does. Yifeng is secretly delighted at this moment. Old Zhou has fallen into my trap, but he's kind of pitiful too. The Heavenly Secrets Pavilion didn't calculate the timing right. Yi Lingxue hasn't even arrived here yet. Old Zhou can only waste his time. Subsequently, Yifeng arrives alone at the location calculated by the system, waiting for Yi Lingxue's arrival. It would be nice if Li Fei were here. I could get a back massage, he thinks, as Yifeng wonders what his second disciple in the Prodigal Sect will be like. Yi Lingxue appears in front of him, a beautiful young woman with an enduring elegance. Immediately, Yifeng is certain that she is going to be his second disciple. He can't help but feel sorry for Li Fei. It looks like the future disciples of my Prodigal Sect will all be beautiful women. Li Fei is destined to be the junior forever. Yifeng then approaches Yi Lingxue with a rose in hand and starts introducing himself. My name is Yifeng, and I am the sect master of the Prodigal Sect. Fate has brought us together today, and I wish to take you as my disciple. Would you be willing? Upon hearing the name Prodigal Sect, Yi Lingxue tries to suppress her laughter but ultimately bursts out laughing, making Yifeng a bit awkward. Yifeng continues regardless. What's the matter? Are you deeply impressed? Yi Lingxue laughs again. Indeed, I am. I never thought someone would give such a childish name to their sect. Also, Sect Master Yi, it seems you're only at the Qi activation realm, right? Although strength isn't a hard requirement for creating a sect, I have to ask, what makes you think you can take me as your disciple? You should know that I'm already at the 8th level of the Foundation realm. Unexpectedly, Yi Yifeng feels her cultivation is rather low upon hearing this, leaving Yilingxue stunned. Yifeng explains, your senior sister is at the 9th level of the Tribulation Crossing realm. The gap is indeed a bit large, but don't feel too inferior. Our sect doesn't emphasize strength. However, Yilingxue just thinks Yifeng is a fool. You, at the Qi activation realm, are looking down on me, and you even made up a senior sister at the 9th level of the Tribulation Crossing realm? Do you think I'm stupid? If it weren't for your good looks, I wouldn't even be chatting with you. Seeing her ignoring him, Yifeng continues to elaborate on the prodigal sect's tenets. If you join our sect, all your cultivation expenses will be covered by me. Why are you ignoring me? Is this some kind of push-pull strategy? Yilingxue is somewhat speechless. Push-pull strategy? What is there about you, a big fool, that's worth my pushing and pulling? Of course, you're good-looking, but it's just because of your handsome face that I'm willing to listen to your nonsense. Otherwise, I'd have squashed you already. Seeing Yifeng boasting, Yilingxue decides to trick him a little. Since you claim to have unlimited resources, if you can provide 100 million top-grade spiritual stones, I will acknowledge you as my master. If you can't, well, I won't be polite. This scene is oddly similar to when Luo Qianxue took her disciple. If Luo Qianxue learns about this price, would she be furious? After all, their starting prices are all over 100 million. Yifeng responds, your scope is too small. You really fall short compared to your senior sister. Saying this, he also sneaks a glance at a certain part of her. Yifeng then proceeds to give her what she asked for. Consider this a meeting gift. Yilingxue is speechless. Small? How is my scope small? However, after examining the storage ring he provided, she is, as expected, astonished. It is filled with top-grade spiritual stones. Yilingxue ponders, what should I do? Should I really join the prodigal sect? But this master is so weak, it's embarrassing. Maybe I should just take the spiritual stones and run. But then, I'd develop a mental demon. That's not worth it. Just then, she remembers what Yifeng had said earlier. Could there really be a senior sister at the peak of the 9th level of the Tribulation Crossing realm? If such a high-level expert is willing to stoop so low, what am I fussing about? She then asks Yifeng, since you say the scope is very different, how much did senior sister ask for initially? Yifeng replies, the same, 100 million. Yilingxue pouts, well, that's not much different, but your senior sister asked for top-grade spiritual crystals. Yifeng adds. Yilingxue is stunned by the asking price. No wonder the scope is so different. To her astonishment, the senior sister had asked for 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals. Surprisingly, Yifeng felt that 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals were too few. Seeing this, Yilingxue approaches. Master Yi, your words aren't backed by evidence. Show me a similar amount then. Yifeng is not put off. He even finds her quite clever, much better than Huayuman. He then takes out a storage ring containing 100 million top-grade spiritual crystals for her. After confirming its contents, Yilingxue directly kneels down, respectfully hands the storage ring back to Yifeng, and acknowledges him as her master, deciding to join the prodigal sect. At the same time, the system's mission is also completed, earning 30,000 prodigal points, along with 10,000 heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pills, and 1 karma Dao pattern. The system helpfully explains that after fusing with the karma Dao patterns, one can to a certain extent offset the karma added to oneself due to peering into the heavenly secrets. Yifeng is thrilled. This is really good stuff. Yilingxue is somewhat puzzled. Why is this master always so goofy? Snapping back to reality, Yifeng begins to instruct Yilingxue. Even though you've joined the prodigal sect, the sect doesn't have a physical location. You just need to remember your identity. Also, people from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion are looking for you. You are their destined saintess. I won't stop you from joining them, as you genuinely have the talent for it. He then gifts the Karma Dao patterns to Yilingxue, explaining their effects and advising her to be careful when peering into the heavenly secrets. Of course, the chest is not the only place to integrate them. It's just that he liked to take advantages. He then gives her 10,000 heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pills, telling her to consume them when she reaches a bottleneck in her cultivation. Come find me after you've consumed them. I can't promise anything else, but the prodigal sect will definitely provide you with enough resources. Yilingxue is stunned. Why is master being so generous to me? He's letting me be the saintess, providing enlightenment pills and karma Dao patterns. She can't help but speculate about Yifeng's identity. Could he be a mysterious power orchestrating a grand scheme across the continent? However, she doesn't dwell on it and immediately assures Yifeng that she will take control of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion and make it a subordinate force to the prodigal sect. Yifeng looks confused. What do you mean take control of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion? What kind of logic is that? I never told you to do that. Just as Yifeng is about to clear up the misunderstanding, Yilingxue interrupts him and asks, is senior sister holding a high position in some organization? Yifeng reluctantly nods. Yes. Yilingxue assumes I knew it expression, then asks Yifeng to tell her the whereabouts of the people from Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. She plans to stage a coincidental meeting and infiltrate the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion to become the saintess and recruit them. Yifeng is flustered. Can you let me explain? This is really a misunderstanding. Yilingxue gives Yifeng a knowing look. Master, you don't have to explain. I know what to do. Please trust trust me. Yifeng is flabbergasted. Can you please stop embellishing the situation? What the heck do you understand? I'm taking a disciple, not recruiting an actor for a spy thriller. Do I owe you an Oscar or something? Meanwhile, on the streets of the town, Zhou Tong continues his charlatan act. Yifeng takes Yilingxue there and points him out. Do you see that old fraud over there? He's an elder of the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion. Upon hearing this, Yilingxue becomes extremely excited. Is he the world's greatest diviner? Master, I'll go consult him right away and make him realize who I am. With that, she rushes over. Before she leaves, she assures Yifeng that she won't let him down. Yifeng sighs in resignation. Fine, let her do whatever she wants. It's the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion that will have to deal with the headache, not me. Yilingxue approaches Zhou Tong and greets him. In just a moment, Zhou Tong is laughing as he leads Yilingxue away. Baffles Yifeng is why the old charlatan is in such a rush. Yifeng suddenly realizes he forgot to activate the sex communication and teleportation features for Yilingxue. But by then, they are already far away, so he decides to sort it out later. Meanwhile, Zhou Tong is gleefully escaping the town with Yilingxue. You think you can snatch our destined saintess away from the Heavenly Secrets Pavilion? Found her first. What Zhou Tong probably never expected is that Yilingxue has already become Yifeng's disciple. Later on, Yifeng continues his journey and decides to rest in a forest. He conveniently finds a cave to rest in. Not long after, an old man and a young man arrive. The young, unattractive man is named Zhang Hang, the young master of Mirror Moon Mansion. Beside him is his protector, Old Pang. Old Pang is barely tolerating this arrogant and domineering young master. If it wasn't for the mansion lord's orders, he wouldn't be serving as his protector. Coincidentally, they also decide to rest in the same cave as Yifeng. Zhang Hang exclaims that they have to kill some magical beasts or else people will think he's worthless. Hearing this, Old Pang can't help but feel disdain. Zhang Hang is only at the Spirit Sea Realm level. He can't possibly defeat any magical beasts. Old Pang wants to slap some sense into Zhang Hang but knows he can't. As they approach the cave, they see something that surprises them. Yifeng has made a bed out of spiritual stones. Zhang Hang is actually impressed and wishes he had thought of that. Old Pang, on the other hand, is frustrated. He thinks, of all the things to emulate, why choose wastefulness? Zhang Hang then orders Old Pang to kill Yifeng as he wants to sleep on that top-grade spiritual stone bed. Old Pang feels that Yifeng seems extraordinary and may have a powerful protector, so he tries to dissuade Zhang Hang, but the latter is adamant about taking the bed and insists that Old Pang make a move. Left with no choice, Old Pang launches a massive palm strike at the sleeping Yifeng. Just as the palm strike is about to land, several beams of golden light slice through it and not only destroy the attack, but also instantly kill both Zhang Hang and Old Pang. It turns out that the one who acted was Divine Tycoon's guard number 1, who was annoyed that these two almost disturbed his master's rest. At this moment, he notices a small insect. Upon closer inspection, it turns out to be a mother and child bug, an insect that can mark its target through death. This piques his interest. Instead of crushing the bug, he lets it mark Yifeng. He figures that if it causes some trouble for his master, he'll have more opportunities to step out and get some fresh air. The next morning, Yifeng wakes up. Though he finds the spiritual stone bed luxurious, it's also quite hard. He thinks about requesting a blanket from the system. Looking at his system interface, he finds that today's extravagant item is 10,000 6th grade, 9th order Heavenly Thunder talismans, each equivalent to a full strength attack from someone at the 9th level of the Purple Mansion realm. His prodigal points have also accumulated to over 140,000. Deciding it's time for a power-up, Yifeng uses 99,000 prodigal points to break through to the peak of the Foundation realm's 9th level. As the breakthrough progresses, countless spiritual energies are absorbed into his cave. It's as if his body becomes a black hole, frenziedly drawing in the natural energies. Upon introspection, he sees a 9-petaled lotus platform forming from condensed spiritual energy. When the lotus fully unfolds, a breakthrough aura erupts from within Yifeng. At this moment, he reaches the peak of the Foundation realm's 9th level. Yifeng is elated by the rapid succession of breaking through 2 major realms, reaching the peak of the Foundation realm's 9th level. However, it irks him that such an earth-shattering breakthrough happened without any witnesses. Just as he steps out of the cave, he stumbles upon the dead bodies of Zhang Hang and Old Pang, which frightens him. What's going on here? I just took a nap and now there are 2 dead bodies? He realizes there were witnesses to his breakthrough, albeit dead ones, which unsettles him. After examining the bodies and finding evidence of an instant kill, Yifeng wonders if Divine Tycoon's guard acted. However, he is puzzled by the presence of a strange insect. Deciding not to think too much about it, Yifeng gathers his belongings and continues his journey. Meanwhile, in Star Soul Sect, Luo Qianxue dreams of holding a wedding with Yifeng. In the dream, Yifeng places a 99-carat diamond ring on Luo Qianxue's finger. Master, I entrust everything to you. Will you marry me? Luo Qianxue looks at Yifeng tenderly and says, I accept your proposal. Luo Wuming, standing to the side, tears up. They even start discussing having enough children to form a soccer team, startling Luo Qianxue awake with a loud shout. I don't agree. However, just as she's sighing that it was all a dream, she finds Yifeng and her sister next to her. Yifeng asks, "Wife, what's wrong?" And Luo Yaoyao also inquires what she's shouting about. Confused, she falls back asleep only to wake up again, her face full of question marks. Soon after, a massive explosion comes from her living quarters. Moments later, Luo Chenxue arrives at the place where the core disciples stay. The core disciples, upon seeing the saintess looking so disheveled, ask what happened and inquire about the explosion. Turns out, the explosion was part of Luo Chenxue's inner demon's illusion. She says it's nothing and decides to sleep at their place for the next couple of days, asking them to make room for her. Both women are baffled, but since the saintess has spoken, they don't question it. Meanwhile, Yifeng is so tired from his journey that he wishes for a carriage. As if on cue, a merchant's carriage happens to pass by. Yifeng quickly approaches to greet them. The leader, Meng Tanyu, asks who he is and why he is blocking their path. Yifeng says he wants to join their merchant caravan, but is cut off by Meng Tanyu. "Do you think I would let someone whose background I don't know join the caravan?" Meng Tanyu says, preparing to continue on their way. Yifeng is somewhat frustrated. Why didn't he think of forming his own merchant caravan? Watching the caravan move away, Yifeng doesn't react much. After all, if he were in their shoes, he wouldn't let a stranger join either. However, he resolves that after reaching the next town, he'll form his own caravan. He plans to get a batch of carriages and hire people to serve him. But just moments later, Meng Tanyu comes back and asks if Yifeng wants to join the caravan after all. It turns out that his young master has decided to give Yifeng a chance. If Yifeng can beat him, he can join the caravan. Soon after, a young guy walks over. He is Wang Xiaofei, the young master of the Chenhai Commerce Association. After greeting Yifeng, he even introduces himself as being at the peak of the divine repository realm. Yifeng internally mocks him, thinking this young guy doesn't seem fit to be the young master of a commerce association. However, he remains polite on the surface, introducing himself and mentioning his cultivation level. At the peak of the foundation realm, Wang Xiaofei becomes incredibly arrogant, proclaiming that he will allow Yifeng 3 moves, any moves. Irritated, Yifeng thinks, this young punk is even more of a show-off than me. Ha, fine, I'll show you no mercy. Not teaching you a lesson would be a disservice to my protagonist status. With that, he takes out his extravagant product, a batch of 6th rank, 9th stage Heavenly Thunder talismans. Upon seeing this, Meng Tanyu quickly moves in front of his young master, blocking him. His eyes are filled with murderous intent as he looks at Yifeng. This is just a friendly spar, and regardless of the outcome, our young master would have let you join the caravan. But you, taking out such a talisman, isn't that going too far? Seeing the misunderstanding, Yifeng explains that he was just looking to have some fun and didn't intend to harm anyone. He then activates a function to see if the other side would really let him join the caravan regardless of winning or losing. The system confirms it's true. Yifeng is taken aback and thinks maybe he was the one who was narrow-minded this time. Meng Tanyu, however, doesn't believe him. These talismans are probably your trump cards. Who would believe that you're just playing around? Yifeng sighs and says, if you don't believe me, then let me give you some fireworks as an apology. He casually throws the talismans into the sky, where they explode. Consider it performance art. Meng Tanyu is dumbstruck. What the heck? Are you serious? Wang Xiaofei, on the other hand, is incredibly impressed. That's so cool. Yifeng's fireworks stun all the bystanders. Seeing Yifeng act so nonchalantly, Meng Tanyu starts to believe him. Yifeng then proceeds to distribute a pile of talismans to everyone in the caravan, asking them to help use them up. Meng Tanyu can't quite believe it. Each of these talismans is worth 100 million low-grade spiritual stones, and now they're in our hands like this. Yifeng also asks them to help him complete his performance art, suggesting a Heavenly Thunder feast. With so many people here, you can help me waste money, and I'll give you something nice in return later. I'm a true genius at wasting money. Seeing Yifeng being so generous, Meng Tanyu begins to speculate about Yifeng's background, guessing that he must be even more powerful than their young master. Just as Meng Tanyu is about to say that they shouldn't waste the talismans, Wang Xiaofei leans in and asks Yifeng if it's really okay to throw them around. Yifeng gives an okay hand signal. Just throw them. Under Yifeng's direction, everyone throws their talismans. For a moment, the area is filled with a tremendously loud explosion, nearly deafening any birds that happen to be passing by. A moment later, a massive, dark pit appears on the spot where the talismans exploded. Everyone is still a bit in disbelief that they've just squandered talismans worth billions. Wang Xiaofei also complains, asking Meng Tanyu to explain to his father so that he won't be scolded for being wasteful in the future. You must testify for me. My behavior doesn't even qualify as being wasteful, Wang Xiaofei says. After squandering all the talismans, Yifeng gains 1,000 prodigal points and a mystical power called Good and Evil Buddha. Yifeng didn't expect to receive such a reward and thinks that it was only possible to deplete the talismans so quickly thanks to everyone's help. He consults the system about giving each of them 100 million spiritual stones, but the system strongly rebukes him. A maximum of 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones. No more. Yifeng concedes, thinking that little by little, it'll add up. So Yifeng gives each person 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones, explaining as he does so that this is their reward for throwing the talismans. Don't look down on these few top-grade spiritual spiritual stones, he says. Everyone checks their rewards and is overjoyed. 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones are more than they'd earn in a lifetime of work. Meng Tanyu's mouth twitches a little when he sees this. That's 108 people, which makes 1,080,000 top-grade spiritual stones, he calculates. Huang Xiaofei starts complaining again, saying that everyone who called him wasteful in the past should see this. When I get back, I must tell my father about this so he knows how wronged I've been all these years. Meng Tanyu is speechless and retorts, "What are you trying to do, young master? Do you want to learn how to be wasteful too? At such a young age, you should be learning good habits instead of bad ones." Seeing this exchange, Yifeng misunderstands and thinks the two are flirting. He almost shatters his own worldview because of it. Meng Tanyu grabs Huang Xiaofei's cheeks, scolding him for his bad habits. Just then, many people call out to Meng Tanyu. It turns out that many members of the Merchant Association no longer want to continue with their jobs. After receiving 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones, they've decided to quit and retire. Meng Tangyu doesn't know what to say. Moments later, only the three of them and a carriage remain. Yifeng starts to feel a bit guilty. He had good intentions, but now he's unintentionally dissolved the merchant team. He thinks to himself that he should not have given out the 10,000 top-grade spiritual stones. Just then, the system appears and informs him that he has successfully gained an additional 200 prodigal points and a recipe for a blood ginseng pill. I've really caused a mess, Yifeng thinks. Yifeng then awkwardly apologizes to Meng Tangyu, saying he really didn't expect this outcome and that these people are ungrateful. He originally planned to give them 100 million top-grade spiritual stones, and now feels relieved that he only gave out 10,000. Hearing Yifeng talk about giving 100 million, Meng Tangyu is almost furious. If you had given them 100 million, is there still a need to open the business association? Seeing Meng Tangyu practically coughing up blood from anger, Yifeng doesn't know what to do next. He asks Meng Tangyu what kind of rare and valuable materials he would need to heal, and then proceeds to display various treasures he possesses. However, it seems that none of them can heal the injury. Seeing this spectacle, Meng Tangyu is shocked to his core, leaving both master and servant speechless. These are 9-leaf soul-returning herb, golden silkworm star shining stone, great demon fairy blood, enlightenment pill, sword heart advancement fragment, and even the heavenly mystery secret art enlightenment pill. Huang Xiaofei recognizes these as treasures only mentioned in ancient texts. Meng Tangyu starts to seriously suspect that Yifeng is just showing off his wealth. At this point, Yifeng is somewhat frustrated. After searching for a while, it seems that none of the treasures he possesses can help. At a critical moment like this, he has nothing that can make a difference. Both Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu don't know what to say. They're convinced that Yifeng is just showing off. Yifeng then asks Meng Tangyu what kind of pill he would need to recover, promising to take full responsibility for his condition. Meng Tangyu suggests that an 8th-grade blood ginseng pill with at least 5 patterns would suffice for healing. Yifeng is taken aback. He recalls that he just got the recipe for a blood ginseng pill. He instructs the system to start opening jars until an 8th-grade blood ginseng pill appears. After 80 attempts, he finally obtains 10 9-pattern 8th-grade blood ginseng pills. Yifeng celebrates, but upon seeing that this cost him 8,000 prodigal points, he wonders what happened to the other items that he didn't get from the failed attempts. The system acts a bit evasive and claims it doesn't know. Huang Xiaofei feels that Meng Tangyu is being a bit unreasonable. After all, Yifeng just likes to show off a bit. There's no need to make things difficult for him. Meng Tangyu thinks about it and decides to let it go. Meanwhile, Yifeng is arguing with the system. "You scoundrel of a system, are you secretly consuming my rewards? No wonder last time, when I crafted a high-level martial technique, there were no additional treasures as rewards." The system tells him to stop arguing as someone is approaching him. Meng Tangyu walks over and says, "Young man, it's alright if you don't have a blood ginseng pill. I was only joking. After all, blood ginseng pills have long been lost to history." However, Yifeng pulls out the freshly crafted blood ginseng pills and says, "No worries, Meng Tangyu, I found it." Meng Tangyu is entirely speechless. What's going on here? How do you have a blood ginseng pill? And those patterns, they look like they're 9-pattern pills. Yifeng innocently hands the pill to Meng Tangyu. "Don't just stand there, hurry up and take it." Meng Tangyu hesitates, feeling that even if he sold himself, he couldn't afford such a precious pill. He explains that his injuries are not severe and declines the valuable pill. Yifeng scoffs, "You call this crappy pill precious? Seriously?" Both Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei are stunned. "This is a legendary 9-pattern pill. Are you sure it's crappy?" Huang Xiaofei thinks Yifeng has a point. A pill is good, but its value depends on who holds it. In Yifeng's hands, it indeed seems like a worthless pill. Seeing that Meng Tangyu doesn't want it, Yifeng feeds the pill to his horse. The horse is ecstatic and clearly pleased it didn't quit its job. The sight leaves Meng Tangyu distressed, his face a mask of regret. After giving the pill to the horse, Yifeng earns another 3,000 prodigal points. With a mischievous grin, Yifeng thinks to himself, even though he spent 8,000 prodigal points, he's making a profit. Each pill earned him 3,000 prodigal points back. He continues to feed the horse, leaving both his companions dumbfounded. "Could you stop being so wasteful?" helpful, but Yifeng ignores them, indulging in his spendthrift ways. Finally, he offers the last pill to Meng Tanyu. Do you still want this blood ginseng pill? Meng Tanyu is moved to tears by this extravagance and blurts out, "Stop wasting them. I'll take it now." After taking the pill, he realizes it actually tastes quite good. Huang Xiaofei leans in and whispers, "Meng Tanyu, you've become the kind of person you once despised." Yet again, Yifeng successfully wastes resources, earning another 3,000 prodigal points and 1,009 pattern blood ginseng pills. Yifeng realizes that Meng Tanyu's injuries weren't severe, which is why his actions counted as wasteful. But what to do with these 1,000 pills? After glancing at the two men, Yifeng has an idea. He moves closer to Huang Xiaofei and asks if he's also craving for these pills, revealing a pile of blood ginseng pills in his hand. Huang Xiaofei is utterly astonished. At this point, Yifeng assures Huang Xiaofei to eat without worry. He has plenty of these worthless pills, so they all climb into the carriage and start consuming the pills. At this moment, Huang Xiaofei fully acknowledges Yifeng as his big brother and vows to do anything he asks in the future. Yifeng is quite happy to accept a little brother and agrees. Meng Tanyu also promises Huang Xiaofei that he will explain everything to Huang Xiaofei's father when they return. Watching this, Yifeng wonders if something special is going to happen, but then both of them start crying. Meng Tanyu lamented, "Huang Xiaofei, you really haven't been wasteful enough. You've had it tough these past 10 or so years. It's because the Commerce Association president's perspective is too narrow." Yifeng is speechless. "I thought you guys were about to confess something." Later, Yifeng asks what makes the blood ginseng pill so valuable. Meng Tanyu explains that the pill is famous for its healing properties. The ingredients and process are not difficult, but the formula has been lost, making each existing pill incredibly precious. Yifeng confusedly pulls out a crumpled piece of paper. "You mean this formula? I have it." He hands it over and leaves Meng Tanyu stunned. Though Meng Tanyu can't understand the formula since he's not an alchemist, his trust in Yifeng has grown. Huang Xiaofei also asks if the formula is genuine. Yifeng confidently responds, "Of course, I can hand this formula over to your guild." Huang Xiaofei is thrilled. "Thank you so much, Big Brother Yi. Just one thing, I want 10% of the profits from selling blood ginseng pills sent to my sect." Huang Xiaofei agrees without hesitation on behalf of his father. Yifeng imagines the abundant income he's securing for his sect, Star Soul Sect, which is still in its infancy. He's been working hard for the sect's development. After their agreement, Yifeng prepares to take both of them to visit his sect. "By the way, how much for all these goods? Just get rid of them. I'll buy it all. Keeping them is just a waste of time." And with that, they set off on Meng Tanyu's flying sword. At this point, Huang Xiaofei is quite curious about what Yifeng's sect will be like. They later arrive in a town to rest, and Yifeng finally has a bed to sleep in. Despite Meng Tanyu's ability to fly on his sword, it will still take them 3 days to reach the Star Soul Sect. Meanwhile, in another room, Huang Xiaofei has just finished talking with his father, the chairman of the Shanghai Commerce Association. Meng Tanyu anxiously asks how it went, only to receive bad news. Huang Xiaofei's father doesn't believe him and thinks they've been deceived by this young Master Yi. At this moment, inside the headquarters of the Shanghai Commerce Association, after listening to his son's report, Chairman Huang Dehai could only think that they had gone mad. They actually trusted someone called young Master Yi. He immediately ordered Old Meng, also known as Meng Haifeng, to bring the young master and the others back. Old Meng assures the chairman that he will do just that. The next day, Yifeng's newest acquisition was also updated. It was 10,000 battle holy body fragments, a type of extremely powerful battle physique. The more severe the injuries received, the stronger the power that could be unleashed. Yifeng was stunned. "Is this thing really that powerful? System, can we negotiate something? Can I use these fragments for myself just once?" But was strongly rejected by the system. "Even though the battle holy body is strong, it's still not worthy of you. Don't concern yourself with such a trashy physique." Yifeng was dumbfounded. How can this be called a trashy physique? Who should I give this to then? He then went to where Huang Xiaofei and another person were. Breakfast was already prepared. The warm hospitality reminded Yifeng of Li Fei. Suddenly he thought, since I gave the sword and tent fragments to Li Fei, then giving the battle holy body to Huang Xiaofei should be okay too. With that thought, Yifeng started to smirk, then sat down and asked Huang Xiaofei, "What do you think of cultivators who take the lead in battle?" Huang Xiaofei responded that even though he's a bit of a playboy and doesn't focus on cultivation, he still respects such cultivators. Meng Tanyu explained that it's not that the young master doesn't work hard, it's just that his talent and bone structure are really not good. It can't be helped. Yifeng then asked the system, "Does the battle holy body have any requirements for talent or bone structure?" The system said no. As long as one keeps fighting life or death battles, one's power could continuously soar, and also comprehend extremely strong martial techniques in battle. Yifeng couldn't help but comment in his mind, "You say it's a trashy physique, but the description says it's so amazing." Then he smiled and asked Huang Xiaofei, "Would you be willing to be a cultivator who takes the lead in battle?" Huang Xiaofei was totally stunned upon hearing this. "Bro Yi, you must be joking. All jokes aside, don't play with my life. I'm not bragging. I may not be good in battle, but I'm first rate at running away." Yifeng was a bit skeptical. "Are you telling telling the truth? For some reason, Huang Xiaofei felt uneasy under Yifeng's gaze. Yifeng then told them the story with Li Fei. Once upon a time, a handsome guy had 10,000 sword intent fragments and didn't use them for himself. Instead, he found a fat guy who extremely despised sword cultivators and let him integrate the sword intent fragments. The second story was about the battle holy body, and this physique was also in the hands of the handsome guy, but he also didn't use it for himself. He wanted to give it to someone who can't fight but is first rate at running away. Huang Xiaofei was numb. Just say my name directly. At this point, he really wanted to run away. He didn't want anything to do with the battle holy body. He didn't want anything to do with life or death battles. Yifeng knew that talking to Huang Xiaofei was pointless, so he turned to Meng Tanyu and left the decision up to him. Meng Tanyu didn't hesitate at all and promptly accepted on behalf of Huang Xiaofei. Seeing this, Huang Xiaofei took off. If his father knew he had this physique, he would definitely force him to go to the battlefield. However, Meng Tanyu didn't care. This is a rare opportunity for you to change, young master. Huang Xiaofei was extremely resistant. He didn't want anything to do with the battle holy body. Meng Tanyu then tied him up and smacked him hard on the buttocks several times. Young master, you really don't know what's good for you. How could you refuse such an opportunity? Seeing this, Yifeng told Meng Tanyu to hold him down. Meng Tanyu said, no problem. Then Yifeng put on a professional suit. The atmosphere didn't look like he was feeding fragments, but rather like he was delivering a baby. Meng Tanyu told the young master to bear with it. You must grasp this tremendous opportunity. Then Yifeng started to take out the battle holy body fragments and press them into Huang Xiaofei's head. After 10,000 integrations, Huang Xiaofei completely fainted. Meng Tanyu became a bit nervous. Is this symptom normal, Dr. Yi? Yifeng said it's going smoothly. Let's observe for now. Just then, the sky outside turned blood red, and Huang Xiaofei's body underwent massive changes. His whole body looked as if it had been painted gold, and he became a little golden man. This strange phenomenon startled both of them. Is this the terror of the battle holy body? Meng Tanyu was a bit worried that the young master might waste this physique, considering the young master was naturally lazy when it came to cultivation and fighting. At this point, Yifeng's spendthrift products for the day were also used up, gaining him 1,000 prodigal points, as well as 3 9th order Yin-Yang Maizere banners. Yifeng got angry. You call this physique trash, you miserly system? This phenomenon is mind-blowingly awesome. He then looked at the introduction of the Maizere banner. Releasing spiritual power could activate it, and it could trap someone at the peak of the tribulation crossing realm in a maze for up to 10 hours. It was a one-time use item. Seeing this reward, Yifeng was elated again. It will take 3 more days to get to the Star Soul Sect. With this array at hand, I can have a good night's sleep. A moment later, Huang Xiaofei woke up. Is it done, Brother Yi? Why don't I feel anything? You really wasted this physique on me. Before Yifeng could open his mouth, Meng Tanyu spoke first. It won't be wasted, young master. After we send young Master Yi back to his sect, I will personally request to instruct you from the president. From now on, our duels will only be life or death duels. If you dare to slack off or cut corners, I won't hold back either. If you happen to die, I'll go with you. Meng Tanyu is really breaking his heart over Huang Xiaofei. Upon seeing this, Yifeng let out a silent condolence. Huang Xiaofei, you're on your own now. At this time, Yifeng and Meng Tanyu continued on their journey. As it was getting late, it was time to find a place to rest. Puzzled Yifeng was, why has Huang Xiaofei been silent the entire way? Ever since Meng Tanyu said something to him yesterday, Huang Xiaofei had been in a state of self-imposed isolation for a day. They eventually arrived at an open meadow, deciding to rest there for the night. At this moment, the withdrawn Huang Xiaofei tearfully said, Manager Meng, start instructing me now. Hearing this, even Yifeng was a bit stunned. What's going on? Isn't Huang Xiaofei afraid of dying? Meng Tanyu expressed, you've finally come to your senses. Oh well, Yifeng couldn't be bothered to deal with the two of them. If Huang Xiaofei has decided to do this, he must have his own reasons. Let's see what this maze array can do. As Yifeng set up the maze array banner, a golden light barrier rose around them. He then looked at the master and servant duo who were training. Yifeng told them to fight freely. With the array barrier up, no one will disturb them. He even left them 100 blood ginseng pills to heal their injuries. Meng Tanyu was very grateful to Yifeng. At this point, Huang Xiaofei seemed like a different person, actually thoroughly enjoying the process of fighting. The two engaged in full-force combat, back and forth. However, Huang Xiaofei was still young and was easily disciplined by Meng Tanyu. After all, Meng Tanyu did have some real skills. Just then, old Meng arrived nearby. He heard the sounds of his son Meng Tanyu and the young master, but what he saw next left him utterly shocked. Why are my son and the young master fighting? He noticed that the style of their battle had turned into hand-to-hand combat. Upon seeing this, old Meng thought they had gone mad. Could it be that they were being mind-controlled by this young Master Yi? No, he had to stop this. However, just as he tried to rush in, he was blocked by the maze array. Old Meng was dumbfounded. What's going on? Hearing the young master's screams from inside the array, old Meng became even more anxious. At this moment, old Meng began to doubt life itself. What the hell? Why is there an array banner here? He had no understanding of arrays, and this looked like an advanced one at that. This is just absurd. At this moment, old Meng noticed Yifeng, who was asleep. That must be the young Master Yi that the clan leader talked about. Being able to use an advanced array banner. He must be no ordinary person. Just then, Old Meng noticed that the two brawlers had stopped. He thought his son and the young master had finally had enough. However, moments later, Huang Xiaofei drew out his sword. Old Meng felt numb all over. They escalated from hand-to-hand combat to armed combat. He saw that Meng Tangyu was still going back and forth with Huang Xiaofei. Old Meng was fuming, shouting and hitting the array. He tried to get them to stop. Unfortunately, the array blocked everything, not just the physical barriers, but even the sound couldn't get through. Finally, 5 minutes later, both of them stopped. Old Meng's heart, which had been hanging by a thread, also fell. If anything happened to the young master, he would be held responsible. However, just as Old Meng thought it was over, Huang Xiaofei stood up. Old Meng looked on in disbelief. Is this really the Huang Xiaofei he had known since childhood? And what's the deal with those blood ginseng pills? Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei were happily munching on blood ginseng pills, discussing each other's performance just now. Thus, another 5 minutes passed. Revitalized by the blood ginseng pills, the two were full of life and vigor again. Then they resumed their training. Meanwhile, Old Meng outside had collapsed on the ground. Today's events made him question life itself. These two wastrels had really gone mad. If you're healing, don't use something as precious as blood ginseng pills. Then, the next day came. Yifeng got up, still feeling drowsy. What's going on? These two are still fighting. Did they do it all night? Suddenly, he noticed Old Meng outside. At this moment, Old Meng was glaring at Yifeng. The look in his eyes seemed to say, "You wait for me." Seeing the old man's hostility, Yifeng assumed he was looking for trouble. He felt fortunate for having used the maze array last night. Just as the first maze array was about to fail, he hurriedly replaced it with a second one, trapping him for another 10 hours. At this point, Old Meng was filled with rage. No wonder his son and the young master couldn't see him. It turns out they were blocked by this young master Yi. He must be the puppet master. Just as he was about to give Yifeng a piece of his mind, he was once again blocked by the maze array. Seeing this, Yifeng ignored the old man, hastily called Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei, and they set off. Then, under the furious gaze of Old Meng, he left very stylishly. Yifeng even looked back and gave him an international friendly gesture, muttering "idiot" under his breath. Old Meng was genuinely infuriated. The image of Yifeng's disdainful face was stuck in his mind. On the other side, Yifeng thought to himself, if it weren't for his high vigilance in blocking their enemies, they probably would have been killed by their enemies last night. Indeed, business people have many enemies. At this moment, today's wasteful products refreshed. It was 10,000 9-stripe blood ginseng pills. Yifeng was stunned. More elixirs? How the hell are we supposed to eat all of these? Suddenly, Yifeng thought of an idea. Why do we have to eat them? What if, like the spiritual stones, we just toss them? Then he asked the system, these 9-stripe blood ginseng pills are lost arts in medicine. Would it be considered wasteful to just throw them on the road? If they're eaten by small monsters or picked up by people, that should still count as wasteful, right? The system confirmed that it would count. Yifeng was very pleased with this. He then looked at Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei. Let's eat breakfast first. He took out a piece of cloth and spread it on a rock. Then he took out a bunch of wasteful products, the blood ginseng pills. This is today's breakfast. Feel free to eat. The two were dumbfounded at this scene. Yifeng gave a sly grin. What are you waiting for? Eat. Would you not give me face if you didn't eat? The two had grown sick of the blood ginseng pills after their previous experience, but they couldn't disrespect Yifeng either. So, they gorged themselves on blood ginseng pills for an hour until they were utterly stuffed. Yifeng was satisfied. That's enough. Since you're full, it's time for some exercise. I still have over 9,000 of these pills. Housekeeper Meng, you continue guiding us with your sword. Huang Xiaofei, help me toss these blood ginseng pills one by one. Huang Xiaofei was shocked at hearing this. Brother Yi, is this really okay? If someone picks them up, it could affect our association's blood ginseng pill sales. Plus, these are 9-stripe elixirs. Yifeng sighed. Huang Xiaofei, for being a young master of a business association, you really lack business acumen. Although these are 9-stripe elixirs, there are just over 9,000 of them. With mystical heaven continent being so big, how could it affect the market? It's not that I'm looking down on your business association. Given the recipe, can your alchemists even make 9-stripe blood ginseng pills? And even if they could, how many people could afford them? The big sellers are still the 5, 6, and 7 stripes. Moreover, the more blood ginseng pills we throw out, the bigger the advertisement, the more people will want them, and our sales will increase. Plus, if we just control the quantity, we can create scarcity and drive up demand, making more money with fewer pills. Huang Xiaofei immediately knelt down. Brother Yi, you're amazing. At this point, Yifeng and his group had traveled for another day. Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu were gearing up for another all-nighter. However, Yifeng was somewhat displeased. After spending all the elixirs today, he only received a few prodigal points, no additional rewards. Then he looked at the two who were at it again. Yifeng decided to go all out as a good guy. He would keep watch for them tonight. The system kindly reminded him, you can sleep peacefully. If there's danger, the prodigal Divine Tycoon's guard will come to protect you. Guard 1 was extremely excited. Another chance to get out and about? Yifeng didn't want to do it that way. He's not useless. If he relied on the Divine Tycoon's guard for everything, he'd feel completely worthless. Also, I could have infinitely farmed prodigal points using those jars long ago, but I didn't do it. I don't want to be a heartless, wasteful machine. Once this topic came up, Yifeng couldn't help but recall his past life. Worked overtime for a year, finally got rewarded with a day off to game all night. But when he woke up, he was in this world. If it was just about farming prodigal points, that would be boring. He didn't want it to be like collecting a salary. In this life, he wants to enjoy life while earning prodigal points. Meanwhile, Old Meng finally sensed that the array flags had disappeared. Luckily, he had a blood spirit jade that could sense the location of his son and young master. As he was on his way, he found 9-stripe blood ginseng pills on the road. He picked them up and carefully examined them. They were real. Not only that, there were blood ginseng pills glowing with golden light all along the way. Old Meng was dumbfounded. Which prodigal did this? These are priceless treasures. As Old Meng continued to pick up more, his anger kept surging. By now, he had picked up over 500 pills, but over 2,000 were broken. He really wanted to kill that prodigal. After picking up 2,000, Old Meng felt he had nothing more to live for. Let them be destroyed. To the universe, these blood ginseng pills are just so-so. He really didn't want to pick up anymore. The next morning, Yifeng, who was supposed to be keeping watch, ultimately couldn't resist falling asleep. When he woke up in a daze, he saw an extremely jarring scene. Huang Xiaofei was hugging Meng Tanyu, and Meng Tanyu seemed to be enjoying it. It really made Yifeng's eyes burn. Thankfully that old guy hasn't arrived yet. Otherwise, it would interrupt Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tanyu's passion. But just as he finished that thought, Old Meng appeared behind him. Now the two had switched positions. Meng Tanyu is at the back, Huang Xiaofei is at the front. Old Meng was truly in tears at this point, finally caught up with them. Just then, Old Meng and Yifeng locked eyes. Seeing this, Yifeng didn't hesitate and cast another maze array, trapping Old Meng on the spot once again. Then he started mocking Old Meng. "You old turtle, if you dare, keep chasing us." Old Meng was really speechless. "You little rascal, remember this. No matter where you run, I will kill you." He was gritting his teeth with rage. At this point, Huang Xiaofei reported on the progress of merging with the saintly battle body. After these 2 nights of training, he had merged 1% with the saintly battle body. Once completely merged, it will display its true power. Yifeng praised him for doing a good job. "Let's continue on our way. We won't rest tonight. If all goes well, we should arrive at the Star Soul sect by tomorrow morning." Huang Xiaofei was puzzled. "Brother Yi, don't you usually pay a lot of attention to the quality of sleep?" Meng Tanyu said that since young Master Yi had made a decision, he must have his reasons. Then they continued on their way. Along the way, Yifeng opened the system to check. Today's prodigal item is a heavenly tier high-level skill book called Demon Suppressing Treasure Record. Yifeng was a bit surprised. This is the first time he's seen a heavenly tier high-level skill book. It must be among the top skills on the mystical heaven continent. How should he squander it? Is he going to throw it away again? But that would be too unoriginal. Or should he just rip it up? That doesn't seem very creative either. With a ding, Yifeng came up with a good idea. Then he looked at Huang Xiaofei with a mischievous smile. "You probably haven't had a bowel movement in a few days, right?" Meng Tanyu explained. "As cultivators, the impurities produced by eating can be purified using spiritual power, so there's no need to go to the restroom like ordinary people." Huang Xiaofei nodded. "That's right, Brother Yi. Although I'm not very strong, I do have that ability." Yifeng was puzzled. What kind of paper-thin setting is this? Then he started threatening Huang Xiaofei. "No, you don't have that ability." This scared Huang Xiaofei, making him clench up. Could it be that Brother Yi is into that sort of thing? Such a weird request. Should I agree to it? Oh well, Brother Yi has been so good to me. What's a little discomfort? After intense mental struggle, Huang Xiaofei decided to accept Yifeng's peculiar preference, stating that he now had a stomachache. Seeing this, Yifeng let out a sinister chuckle, further confirming Huang Xiaofei's suspicions. However, the next moment Huang Xiaofei was dumbfounded. Yifeng handed him a skill book, telling him to use it as toilet paper when he had a bowel movement. So, after all that fuss, it really was about going to the restroom. Then they found a place, and Huang Xiaofei had a bowel movement as per Yifeng's request. It's been years since he's done this. During the lull, Huang Xiaofei looked at the skill book, and then he was utterly shocked. It seemed like he entered a state of enlightenment. The next second, a golden light shot up into the sky, startling Meng Tanyu. "What's going on? Is this the state of enlightenment? When did my little fool become so strong? Actually entering the legendary state of enlightenment?" Then he looked puzzled at Yifeng. "Young Master Yi, what exactly is the book you gave to the young master?" Yifeng said, "Don't make a big fuss. It's just a heavenly tier high-level skill book. I thought it would be toilet paper for Huang Xiaofei." Upon hearing this, Meng Tanyu immediately kneeled and thanked Yifeng, saying their gratitude was beyond words, and they would remember this kindness. Yifeng was a bit puzzled. What's going on? Why is he suddenly kneeling? Just then, his prodigal points started to rapidly decrease. Yifeng was confused. What's happening now? Can someone explain? At this moment, an excited Huang Xiaofei ran over holding the skill book. "Brother Yi, I've finished going to the restroom." Yifeng's face turned dark, and he immediately crushed the skill book. The system also appeared, saying that he had failed to squander today's prodigal item, and deducted 50,000 prodigal points. At this point, the word pain could be seen in Yifeng's eyes. He originally had just over 60,000 prodigal points left, and now he was directly deducted by 50,000. All the effort in the past few days was wasted. Thinking of this, Yifeng started started to cry, feeling utterly exhausted. He even wanted to run into a tree and end it all. Huang Xiaofei was very confused about what was going on, but he realized he must have caused trouble. He promptly kneeled down to apologize to Yifeng. However, Yifeng was a bit puzzled. Where did you go wrong? Then Huang Xiaofei said, Brother Yi, you said that the holy battle body doesn't require any skill books, and one can comprehend it just by fighting, but I lack self-control and got lost in the skill book just now. I didn't even fully comprehend it. This must be a test you set up for me, and I've disappointed you. Meng Tangyu was shocked. So that's how young Master Yi thinks. How silly of me. I was even upset with young Master Yi earlier, thinking he ruined the young master's opportunity. It was me who was short-sighted. Immediately, Meng Tangyu also kneeled down to apologize, asking Yifeng to punish him as he sees fit. Yifeng didn't know what to say for a moment. What the heck? Why are you all so imaginative? I'm just being prodigal. And what does this have to do with you, Manager Meng? Why add drama to your own role? Yifeng couldn't be bothered to deal with them and continued to wallow in his regrets. They, however, continued to imagine that they had disappointed young Master Yi. After venting for a bit, Yifeng then urged them to get moving. Stop daydreaming all the time. Huang Xiaofei thought this meant Yifeng had forgiven them and immediately vowed never to disappoint Yifeng again, promising to become a sharp weapon in his hand one day, clearing all his future enemies. Yifeng felt like even if he wasn't angry, he would get irritated by them. Get lost. I just want to slack off. Don't disturb my peaceful life. However, Huang Xiaofei insisted, whether you need me or not, Brother Yi, I'll practice hard. Yifeng was annoyed, picked up a rock and threw it at him. Enough with the chit-chat. At this time, on old Meng's end who was trapped, after another 10 hours of consumption, the formation flag finally ran out of energy, and old Meng caught up again. Meanwhile, Yifeng was still sound asleep, and Meng Tangyu was flying on her sword, amazed. Not far from the Star Soul sect now, he felt an incredibly strong pressure. It seems the Star Soul sect has quite a few powerful figures. Huang Xiaofei was extremely excited, finally getting to see the grandeur of Star Soul sect. However, the next day after arriving at the Star Soul sect, seeing the cobweb-covered gates of the Star Soul sect, both master and servant felt their hearts go cold. Where is the promised grandiosity? Huang Xiaofei also had a look of disbelief. What's going on? As Yifeng opened the main gate, he was met with a murderous aura. It was his long-unseen beautiful master, Luo Qianxue, who directly pulled out her long sword and pointed it at Yifeng's neck. Yifeng gave an awkward smile. Master, I've returned. Luo Qianxue questioned him. You finally remembered to come back. Ha! Seeing master in this state, Yifeng became a little panicked. What did he do to provoke her? He quickly called for help from the system. I'm in danger. Where is the Divine Tycoon's guard? However, the system playfully magnified a minor scratch. This is an extremely serious scrape. If it wasn't magnified, it wouldn't be clear. So host, please calm down. Try to win her over this time. The Divine Tycoon's guard won't intervene this time. At this time, Luo Kai and others rushed over in a hurry. Sacred lady, please show mercy. This left Yifeng completely dumbfounded. Why are these guys here? Luo Qianxue was furious. How dare you say that? Do you have any idea what you did at the Star Extreme sect? Yifeng, you truly are a good disciple of mine. You went out and not only brought back the Star Extreme sect's 5 core disciples and an elder, you even managed to deceive a tribulation crossing realm demonic beast into coming here. Then Luo Qianxue noticed the 2 people behind her. She asked, and who are these people? Don't tell me they also want to join the sect. Before Yifeng could speak, Meng Tangyu and the others hurriedly denied it. Hearing this, Luo Qianxue finally spared Yifeng. Thank goodness they're not joining. Since there are outsiders here, I'll spare your life. Seeing the sect master's anger dissipate, Old Bai and Old Xia, who hadn't been seen in a long time, came out to be in the spotlight. Both of them were concerned about whether Yifeng was injured or not, both trying to curry favor with Yifeng. The two then started to argue among themselves. When they saw Old Xia, Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei were stunned. Why is this big shot also here? Old Xia looked puzzledly at Meng Tangyu and Huang Xiaofei. Do you know me? Meng Tangyu was speechless. How could we not know you? The owner behind the prestigious Tianyu auction house. Why would you be in this small sect? Huang Xiaofei also found it strange. At this time, Yifeng began to introduce the two. They are from the Shanghai Commerce Association. Young Master Huang Xiaofei and Chief Steward Meng Tangyu. The main reason they came back with me is to discuss some business matters with you, Master. Luo Qianxue thought they were here to sell goods, so she explained clearly to them. The Star Soul sect has only been established for less than a month. We simply do not have the financial resources to purchase large amounts of cultivation resources. I think we can forget about any collaboration. However, upon hearing about the lack of financial resources, Meng Tangyu and the others were almost speechless. You call this lacking financial resources? Are you not aware of your disciples' extravagant spending habits? At this time, Huang Xiaofei explained that they were not here to sell products. He then took out the recipe for the blood ginseng pill. After a few minutes of explanation, Luo Qianxue understood why Huang Xiaofei and Meng Tangyu were here. The thought of having exclusive rights to sell the long-lost blood ginseng pill excited her to no end, but she also felt conflicted. After all, she didn't establish the sect just for money. It seemed to be moving further away from her initial intentions. At this point, Yifeng stepped in. Master, when I saw junior brother Wufeng crying in his chair because he had no money. I decided to do something about this situation. If I could find a business association to cooperate with, I would certainly collaborate. And now, here is the Shanghai Commerce Association. So please, Master, don't refuse. It's our duty to restore the glory of Star Soul Sect. Heh, praise me, Master. However, Luo Qianxue was almost furious. Anything that has to do with this wasteful disciple of mine is definitely not good. How many years will it take for me to reach the Tribulation Crossing realm and ascend to take revenge? Just then, the system notified him. Old Meng will arrive at Star Soul Sect in 3 minutes. Yifeng felt extremely pleased. Thank goodness I set up a cosmic alert feature in advance. As expected, the old man is coming after me. He then instructed Little Blood, who was at the Tribulation Crossing realm. As soon as you see an old man in a gray robe, go and stop him. But don't kill him, just give him a good beating. Little Blood understood, then started to show off in front of the core disciples. Yifeng was a bit speechless. Meanwhile, not far from the Star Soul Sect, Old Meng had also arrived. That kid definitely doesn't have any high-level formation flags left. I must kill him this time, otherwise, my name isn't Meng Haifeng.